Well, good morning, brothers and sisters. So thankful you've joined me for today's devotion. We are in the second Psalm, so Psalm 2 today. And there is an image in this one that made me smile and really spoke to my heart. It's verse 4. He who sits in the heavens, talking about God, he who sits in the heavens laughs, and the Lord scoffs at them. Now, let me tell you why that image just made me smile and was so encouraging to me. Because he begins in the opening verses by talking about the nations who are plotting against the Lord's anointed. Now, in all likelihood, this was historically surrounding nations plotting against Israel and King David, but it's also referring to the Messiah, to Jesus, the anointed, the Messiah, and he's called his son in here. So it's a psalm that has a double meaning. It refers to the historical events of King David's life, but it also refers to the Messiah and Jesus Christ. And this image of, much of the world plotting against Jesus, being enemies of Jesus, being in opposition to and persecuting the church and God's people, whether it's communist dictators, Muslim radicals, liberal atheists and hedonists, whoever it is that's plotting against God and his people and his church. And sometimes because of that, we can be so intimidated. We become afraid. We run, we hide. I love the image that when all of that is happening and they think they've got the upper hand and they're hurting God and they're hurting God's people and they think they're winning. I love this image that while that goes on, God is laughing at them. In heaven on his throne, God is laughing at their arrogance. God is laughing, he's scoffing at these who oppose him and his people and his purpose because they think they are winning and he knows they are going to end up in hell. And he's laughing and scoffing at the selfishness and the brutality and the arrogance of the wicked because he realized they are full of themselves and they don't know it. They are headed for a big fall. And they don't know it. Now, I don't know why that image just really struck me and says, why am I to live my life afraid of those who are opposed to God and his people? Why? Because I know that ultimately I'm going to win and they're going to lose. This psalm is a popular one because it's quoted in the New Testament more than once. In the book of Acts, in the book of Hebrews, a messianic psalm. And what are you and I supposed to do? Well, look toward the end of the psalm, the last two verses. When God is laughing because the arrogant, wicked think they're winning and they're trying to stop God's purpose and hurt God's people, here's what we do, verses 11 and 12. Worship the Lord with reverence. Worship the Lord with reverence. Rejoice with trembling. Verse 12, and do homage to the Son. Just bow down and worship Jesus. Don't be afraid of the wicked. Just bow down and worship at Jesus and know that he sees everything happening. And all those out there who are opposed to him and his people that think they've got the upper hand, God's laughing at the silliness of how they think. So just keep your eyes on Jesus and worship him. And it may break our hearts because we don't want to hurt or suffer. It break our hearts because we don't want to see anybody judged. But, sometimes just laugh at the stupidity of the wicked because God does. Hey, God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.